Hi everyone, it's my pleasure to be here with you one more time. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Today I got my guest Riley here. How are you, my friend? How you doing? Good?
Good to see you, Fleet.
And my loan officer assistant Will, who is in charge of our commercial DSCR department, has been assisting us here for a while now. We're just trying to get all of investors the information they need, and that's why we're here today. So Riley, I want to thank you for this conversation we're about to have. We're going to talk about strictly about the DSCR program, which we have it on our screen here, how you can invest here in the U.S., anywhere in the U.S. We can do all 50 states, by the way, where you can buy a property for rental income.
Boston specifically.
So, Riley, we're going to jump into some properties. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, but I just want to tell everybody what DSCR is. DSCR means you don't need to verify your income, none of your income to verify to buy a property.
We strictly use the income from the property itself.
Exactly.
And that helps to cover the cost of the mortgage and be able to get approval from the bank.
Absolutely. And what have to make sense, as we know, well, the property has to pay itself.
Yeah.
If you're buying a property for rent, right, Riley, what you need? You need to make sure that property covers itself. So talking about, 3 to 4 units, because those are the big bucks, right? They make some money. By the way, we can go up to 8 units with these programs. So, but let's say a 4 unit, right? It's a nice income property. What are we roughly looking here? Let's say Boston, Metro West area, Worcester. What are we roughly looking at property purchase price and rental incomes, in your opinion?
For a 4 unit?
Yes, sir.
10 to 12,000 a month.
Great. And that's kind of what we have on the board here too. 11,500, let's say that $900,000.
Yeah.
So the question is, how much down payment do you need to start? So our DSCR programs, basically all the DSCR programs, they're going to go start with 20% down, folks. 20% down, that's the number you're looking at here on the screen. 180,000 is what you need to buy a multi-unit, let's say 4 units, in this case, 900,000. Rates will be a little more because you're putting a little less down. I'm going to say about 7.875. Okay, rough. This you get your mortgage payment there. You can see it on the screen. I got your insurance and taxes. So roughly monthly payment, everything included, $5,937. Right? I mean, Riley, you don't have utilities here included. What other things would it have included? What investors?
Yeah, so landlords typically, tenants are going to pay for everything except for water, common air, electric. So there's going to be some additional expenses that are going to come out of this profit. But these are the rough numbers on a 4 unit doing a DSCR. And we're going to show you the power of multifamily today, guys. It's incredible. There's a lot of opportunity with it. And it's the best thing long-term for your families and growing a portfolio.
Yeah, you said it right. I mean, people are investing in real estate for that reason. We're known for that market here, right? For the multifamilies. Even if you're going to Florida and you're buying a single family there for like Airbnb or things like that, it's awesome too. We do it all. But here in our area, let's say New Hampshire, Massachusetts especially, we got Lowell, we got Worcester, right? We got Boston area.
Springfield,
Fall River, right?
Fall River, New Bedford.
Yeah, and you sell all over these places. You're all over it, right?
Everywhere, 4 states.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's amazing that you can get a nice property here and get it to pay itself, guys, and get some profit. So DSCRs, they're amazing to get into. As Riley said, you looked at the numbers, you look at the rent here, and then you look at the monthly mortgage payment. That's how much you're profiting right there a month, guys.
It's a good profit.
It's a great profit. Even if the rents were a little low, right, Riley? Let's say that, in the Fall River area maybe, the rent was a little low. You still got a nice profit there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Will, what are you looking at a year? If you're making about $3,000 a month, $36 or somewhere change, right?
So the difference is, would you rather pay this for a mortgage every month, or would you rather the property pay you?
Good to be in the pocket.
Absolutely. And let me get into more little details here. In the left column here, guys, as you can see on the screen, we got the closing costs. Typically, they are higher for multifamilies. I would say, give or take, you could say roughly maybe $40,000 to $46,000. I always put it higher, but then we work on that. You got the reserves. The difference for people that actually live here. So let's say you're a U.S. citizen. You only need to provide 3 to 6 months reserve. So I'm going to put 6 months here. And we just change that number to 6. That's where you basically have to have. You're not spending reserves, by the way. You're just making sure you're having it. But you're spending the closing costs and down payment, and that's what you can look at for cash to close. So if we do take out that reserve, you're actually spending $226 to buy a property at that price. Obviously, these numbers will change. As you can see on the screen, if I go to a $700,000 home, you can see that the numbers here will change. Definitely just adjust as we adjust to the purchase price. So very important. If you're trying to invest into DSCR, into properties here, what documents do you need? That's the main question. And I have a list here real quick. You basically need a U.S. passport or the driver's license, 2 months of bank statements, basically the last 2 months. Sourcing, you have all those funds. available there, which will cover the closing costs, which will cover the down payment, and you do need some reserves. So if you live here, it's about 6 months reserves. If you live out of the country, 12 months reserve. So if you do not live in the US and you want to buy it, living in another country, you actually can. The same program will work. It just tweaks a little bit on the numbers. And we recommend the person to get what? An LLC, right? I guess, do you know the reason why they do LLCs here?
Protect every property you own. Never have multiple properties in LLC. You want to have a separate one for each property.
Excellent, excellent. That's what all the accountants recommend. That's all the investors are doing.
Diminishes liability.
Right, Will? I mean, what would you do, Will, if you had 3 properties today? You'd have it all?
Different LLCs. Protect myself from any liability and the property itself. So it's so much. It's the best way to divest and to make sure that everything's covered.
Very nice. Well, guys, I want to thank you guys again. I think we pretty much covered the DSCR. If you guys have any questions, here's the contact information. Feel free to reach out, and we'll definitely get you started, get you help getting your first property, or second, maybe third, 10th property, I don't know.
Sounds good.
That's nice.
Make some money, guys. Use the power of real estate. Thanks, Riley.
Thank you, Felipe.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.